Well, g'day there. Today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple shepherd's hook or shepherd's crook ear wire so that you can make your own at home. This is a very essential basic skill that any jeweler who wants to make earrings needs to learn. And it's really pretty easy. I'll show you all the tools that you need. I'll show you the whole process and you will then know how to do it. And I'm going to show you a few things not to do as well. A few mistakes that newbies make when they start making these ear wires. So let's get into it. So in order to make some ear wires, you obviously need to start with some metal. I would usually either use a 0.7mm wire or a 1mm wire, that's the diameter, in order to make my ear wires. But today I'm going to just demonstrate with this copper, which is about a 1.5, just so it's a little bit easier for you to see what we're doing. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is decide on a length for your ear wires, and then you want to use a ruler to measure the length. So I'm working in metric. You can also work in imperial. You could do, say, a 2-inch length or maybe a 6cm length. So let's do that. So you need some cutters. And then what you're going to do, you'll notice there's a flat side and a bent side to your cutters. You want to use the flat side towards the ear wire, okay? And you're going to cut it off right at your measuring point. You can put your ruler away, and then you'll be left with a little piece of metal, okay? So the next thing you need to do with your little piece of metal is you need to take off any sharp edges. So I have a big file here, and I also have a small file here as well. And what I do is with the big file, I file like this, just flat, okay? So I'm just filing the ends flat, just to take off any sharp edges. And once I've done that, the next stage is to actually take off any of the sharp edges around here. So what you're going to do at this point, you've got your little bit of wire, is you want to go round on sort of a 45-degree angle, like this, and I'm rotating this with my fingers as I go. And I'm just pulling away, rotating, pulling away. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to make a little dome shape. Now there are other ways you can do this. You can do it with Dremel or machines, with a sort of little cap file thing, but this is just, I'm showing you how to do this with just basic tools, okay? So you want to go round and round and round and round and round like that, and you want to do the same on the other end, and you want to keep doing that until you have a nice smooth finish, because there's nothing worse than putting in a pair of earrings where it's all sharp and uncomfortable in the earrings, okay? So make sure you've done both ends. I know one of them is going to be curved over, so it's not such a necessity, but I think it's good to take any sharp edges off your jewelry, okay? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, so there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can start by making a loop and then make the wire crook, or you can make the crook and then the loop. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do is get our round nose pliers, okay, and we take those on here, and we just curl it over and we make a loop, okay? So we end up with something that looks a little bit like that. It's going to look a little bit different with the thinner wire. It won't have quite so much of a curve here. And then what you want to do next is you want to get whatever it is you're shaping this around. So I have just a knitting needle here. This is a 10mm knitting needle, and you can use this to shape it. So you have the little loop here, and what you want to do is you want to hold the loop like this, and you just bend it around, and then you're left with this little shape. Now, depending on where you bend it, you're going to change the shape of it, okay? So if you bend it higher up, you're going to have more of a neck on it. If you bend it lower down, you have more of this part. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do is put a little kink in the end there, because that helps it stay secure. So you want your needle nose pliers to do that. And it's very easy. All you're going to do is pop your pliers on the end there, like that, okay, and then just do a little kick, just like that. So now you've got a little kick at the end there, so that, again, like I said, it's easier for people to stay in their ears. Now, all of this is malleable, okay? You could make this sharper, like more of a kick on it. As I said, you could make this further up. So whatever you want to do, just make a shape that you like, that suits you. Okay, so at this point now, it's quite soft. It's still very easy to break and pull apart. So you need to harden it. So in order to do that, you want some sort of anvil type thing. This is just a steel block, okay? And you pop that down, and then you pop this on, and there's a couple of tools you can use here. So I have a rawhide hammer here, and then I also have this nylon hammer, okay? Now, the benefit of these two hammers is they're not going to flatten the metal. They're just going to harden the metal. So if you want to keep it nice and rounded, you want to use one of these type of hammers. The other option is a steel hammer, okay? Now, if you use a steel hammer, it's going to flatten the metal. So you're going to actually have a flat side on each side of your ear wire. So I guess it just depends if you want to do that or not. So it's up to you, again, what you want to do here. So let me come a bit closer and I'll show you the process of this. I'm also just going to put this sandbag underneath this so that it absorbs the impact and doesn't make big smashing sounds. Okay, so first I'll show you with the rawhide hammer. So you just want to turn it back, keep flipping it over, keep hitting it with the flat of the rawhide hammer until you have this where it's, what you want to look for is where it's hard to pull apart, okay? So you want it to be nice and strong and stiff because you don't want it to be floppy. You can do the same thing with the nylon hammer. And then finally, if you prefer, I'll show you the difference of what happens when you use this hammer. Now, if you are hammering with that hammer, what you want to do is you actually want to make sure that this is fully flat. You want to do that anyway. What you do is you hold it up to your eye line and tip it like this. And what you're looking for is any light coming underneath the metal. And so if there's any spots where it's sitting up above the surface, you want to hammer that spot, because what will happen is you hammer that spot, it will bow downwards. Okay, so you flip it over and do the same on the other side. If there's any bits that are sticking up, you want to hammer that spot to make it go downwards, and you kind of have to finesse it backwards and forwards till you get it right, perhaps sometimes. Okay, so now if we have a look at this, I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually kind of flattened on both sides now, and you can probably see how it catches the light. Okay, so that is basically an ear wire, a shepherd's hook ear wire, all finished. Now, the final thing you need to know is how to put something on this properly. The rookie mistake people make is they try to pull this open, this little loop here. They try to pull it open in this direction, okay? That way. You don't ever want to do that. What you want to do is you want to pull it out this way. So I'll show you what I mean. So like I said, you never want to open it this way. What you want to do is actually open it in this direction, like that. Okay, see how it has actually been lifted off the plane? Because that maintains the loop shape. And then when you're done, all you're going to do is put it back and just finesse it a little bit till it's back on the same plane again. Okay, so that way you've maintained the shape of the ear wire and it hasn't gotten all wonky. And then that's it. Play around, have fun with it, and see what sort of shape of ear wire you can come up with. So there you have it, a very simple way to make a shepherd's hook or crook ear wire. If you enjoyed this one, please give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my future tutorial videos on jewelry making elements. And if you'd like to check out my jewelry, you can do so over at ethereal.com. If you enjoyed this one, you might like to check out this video next, where I show you how to make a pair of spiral earrings. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you in the next video. Bye for now.